Hi, it's Rosie from RoseByNameCo. I'm here today to show you my new junk journal. It is in the Wolfology series. This is number 3, the third installment called Enigma. And the previous one, if you recall or if you watch the other videos, was the key where there is a story in here and the main character is Martin, and he has just found out that he belongs to a family of wolves called the Stoufers, which he himself has studied and named Enigma. He, however, did not know previously that he belonged to them, and now he does. And now it's a matter of how he's going to approach them and whether they will accept him and whether he himself will accept that he is a wolf and that he actually belongs to Enigma himself and that he needs to join the pack and in effect possibly become the next alpha in this. Okay, so pack. As with the other two journals of Wolfology, this one is a 6 by 6 inches in size. It is 3 signatures, bound pamphlet style, and it does have the Tim Holtz hardware here. It's about 72 pages, front and back, and it is filled with all kinds of ephemera relating to the story. And I did this cover a while back, even before some of the other ones, but I didn't think it was just right until now that I did this one for Enigma, which practically just shows the pack right here. And just some of the details of the cover here with some of the reddish colors that I like to use for this series, because of course it is wolves and there would be some red or slash blood. So this is the other side of it, or the side view, and the tassel here that has a little pendant here with Enigma's picture in it as well. And I'm not sure if that focused. Okay, there. And a little bit of beads and a feather and a chain here, and this little thing that just reminds me maybe of their hide or something a little bit leathery, and some different colors here that will go with the cover, and some lace and so on. And in the back we have the lace, and I just left it as it is with the background here, which is just beautiful from a sari scarf. And so it is quite a lengthy journal, and the sides here have lace and beads. Lace is cascading down here towards the center, towards the bottom of the book, with this little pendant here of a wolf. Let me see if I can, there we go. And so this is mostly how I work my journals most of the time, with some fluff on the top and on the bottom and on the sides as well. So let's just go see inside what's happening inside with Enigma. So checking inside what is going on with the wolf pack. This time there is a lot of different pages and a lot of the sections to the story, a lot of original ephemera from books and magazines about wolves, and a lot of beautiful photos and so on to enjoy in this journal. So this journal is sold and it will be shipped off shortly, and I hope the new owner enjoys it. So here in the beginning I do have a pocket with some ribbon and this beautiful Tim Holtz background here, paper, cardstock, and I do have a tag that I made that is of a wolf with a little bit of red here, and in the back I will write a little message to the new owner. And this one is just like a floating pocket, and inside is a little notebook that I made with assorted papers, and in the back there is some painting that I did with the different colors that, you know, when wolves are scratching They leave marks like this. So anyways, and here's a little bit of fabric and the name wolf on it. So just a little bit for some writing space because the journal is quite full with different things. Over here we have a postcard. And so this is, Martin did find out where Enigma was residing in their human form in this a large country home inside Beast Woods, deep inside somewhere. It is a vintage postcard I picked up in Europe, and it's just beautiful country home that seems to maybe fit where Enigma might live. And over here is some of those stitched up papers that I do sometimes with the different paintings, and just stitched up together. First of all, I tear them into layers and then I stitch them back together, and it gives this beautiful effect with some different colors and mostly pinks and reds, and I contrasted that with black ribbon over here. So in the back we have a little kind of a pull-out or a tag, but quite a large one. It does fold out. It does say MDS here, which is Martindale. Used to be Smith, but is now Stouffer. So the same initials, and he just finds out that he is a part of Enigma. He's quite a good-looking wolf there, and we'll see what happens or how he deals with this. I do have some words just to describe wolves, massive and intelligent, of course. They're all that. And in the back is just from an old engraving, something public domain that I found, and some eco-dyed paper as well with some different colors on there. So the story does start here, and I do have these notes. These are sort of Martin's notes, and he writes about what is happening at this time. Over here, I did do just a little more writing paper. This one says Alpha Male, and I did some stamping and just opens up for some writing. And here I have this tiny envelope. As you know, I like to make tiny things. So this one has a little bit, just more of just some writing paper that I stamped up. And it does have a small, like a newspaper clipping or a little tiny postcard of wolves. I don't know if you can tell. Looks like a mother with her cubs. And oops, I just put this back over here. And then I did figure out to leave the first page out so I can get it out easier than before. It was a little bit tough sometimes because I just make it a little bit too small. So I do have this silver ribbon here, lace, beautiful design, and then some beads on top. So there's one in each signature, and it drapes over and just reminds me, I guess, the silver of wolves and so on. Over here, next page, we have another little write-up from, you know, about wolves, some statistics, and something about the gray wolf and so on, and their footprints. And in the back is something about bears, but they might be, you know, they might be friends or they might not be sometimes. And over here is more of the story, and I do have VUK here, which is part of my last name. And then, so it is in Croatian. Vuk means wolf. So hence how I'm kind of related, if you will call it that. Not really, but anyways, related to the wolf. And so you pronounce it as V-O-O-K, like Vuk. Vuk. And on this page, I just had some typing that I did in different fonts, and a little bit of beads over here that we sometimes, we'll sometimes have in here. And a little more collaging on this one, actually, some writing space. And then here's like an image of an old tapestry with a wolf in it as well, and maybe some areas that they live in and so on. It just looked nice. And then more of the story on this blue cabbage dyed paper that I like to use. And here's from a book. I did leave the write-up so that you know, you can read about it and learn more about wolves. So it does open up this way, and you can read about them in here. And over here we have an envelope that maybe Martin received, or he was going to maybe send somewhere, and with some journaling card here, and it does here mention something about Stouffer somewhere, so I kept this piece and added some coffee dye paper. And here is a map. This one is of Montana, and right here, and the mountains and the different areas that maybe Martin might frequent. And here we have a real photo of maybe this is Hartman Stouffer. He's the grandfather, if you recall, who was the patriarch, I guess, of the family, and his wife. And then and I just kept it the way it was. Somebody pulled it out of a photo album, and I just happened to compound it that way. And then this is from Tim Holt's card with the uncle to Martin. His father is Joseph, and then his brother is Gregory, and Gregory is Thor. He is the alpha male at the moment in Enigma, and that's his wife Margaret. So some family background on this one. And over here I did another painting with different scratchy kind of wolf marks, some with a little bit of blood and so on, and some burlap, and just something that might be more related when the wolves are out in the woods and about and doing their thing. On this side I have a skull charm and some red ribbon here, and then a pocket. I made this tag, I don't know, just kind of on a whim. I did have it stamped up, and then I made these holes, and I put in the different fabrics just for like texture, you know, tactile something, and possibly maybe these are the textiles that I used in the wolf manor, so to speak, in their house there in their country home, but just interesting to look at. And here is a little notebook with a little poem by John Adams about the wolves. So a little bit extra writing space in here. And here's this beautiful page from a vintage book, and of a wolf. It does open up into this full image, and with some ribbon here, and also in the back is the pack Enigma. They are in the fall at the moment, but they're heading into winter, so I do have some winter photos here as well. And then in the middle, each middle has a charm of a wolf and some beads on top, and because of course it is, the whole thing is about them. And then this one opens up. It does have some writing here on this side, and then on this side is, well, this is a new pack. This is another pack. We don't know much about them yet, but they are trying to take over the territory from Enigma, and Enigma will be not having it, and unfortunately there will have to be some duels. Over here is another vintage postcard that I got in Europe, also authentic, not a photocopy, and I just thought it was beautiful with all the earth tones inside the house as you come in, and then up the stairs to the second level. Just the earthy tones, the browns and so on. I mean, you can just see wolves as they come in before they turn into the human form, you know, roaming around here up and down the stairs. It just seems to fit somehow, and I can just imagine it right now. Let me just look at this. Yeah, there's Thor going up the stairs. Okay, so more about the story here, and one more postcard in the back as well. Now over here I have some stamping and some more painting of just the colors that go with this journal. And then this is where Martin has been given this room in this new home of his, where he will of course now reside, although he has to decide to accept this or not. And so this will be his room. Over here is just some maybe drapery that is in that room. It is a fabric cover of a little notebook, and I did stamp a key in here as a reminder of the second installment, which was Wolfology 2, the key. And then just a little notebook for extra space, and also this beautiful fabric that could be this just as well, and with some ribbon and so on top. So just a little bit more about where they live. And then I do have more of the story here and some stamping and some old letter remnants here, and wolf, and a little bead over here. And some more of that other side of where I just randomly wrote letters and coffee dyed it, and it looks good, why not? This one is a pocket that I kind of double-sided with a black ribbon, and on top you'll always see some tabs and so on. This one is Beast Woods, a tree I guess in Beast Woods, and it is a photo that I took. I will initial it, and so here and there I do have some of my own photos. In the next installment I'll probably have more. The next and final installment will be Beast Woods and all about the woods, and as well some of the background, some of the history of Enigma, where they came from, which is in Croatia. So we'll see some of that as well. How did they start to be wolves? Hopefully I'll have that figured out for the next time. So over here we have more of the collaging that I like to do, and I did put in this, well, it's one large tag with some backed onto burlap. Well, just because, you know, it has to be very raw. You know, wolves are raw. So this is Martin. He's a good-looking guy, and this is him in his wolf form. So also this pocket it is a pocket actually, and there is a little bit more of raw wolf colors and so on, and some of the paper ruffle that I put on top. So it is a journaling card, so you can write on it, or you can put in something else as well. And a little bit more details here.
And due to technical difficulties with the video, I'll have to use photos from here on in the next section. Here you're looking at a couple of members of Enigma on fabric that I then sewn onto the cardstock, and the story continues in the next pages of the journal. And here's a pocket with an engraving on a journaling card of a wolf, and the beautiful silver draping lace that I have with the beads on it as well, and a wreath as well. And here is Enigma roaming the countryside. Of course, they are out looking to hunt. I like using some poems on occasion. This one from the Jungle Book. And look at these cubs here. They're just precious. Look at their little noses here. They're snuggled together in their den. And as well, here they are outside. They're learning from their from their parents and so on, how to hunt and do different things in the forest and the woods. And some more of the pages with the details that I like to put in every journal, lots of beads and ribbon and lace, and some more family history with red ribbons. Here's a little poem also by John Adams from 1756. So here and there, there's a few poems, and just all the details from the different pages. This one does have quite a bit of information about wolves, and just about the story and so on. The pages are every page, and here's Martin again. He's quite a handsome wolf, I still think. And his mother Anna here, and his sister Samara. Hopefully we'll find out something about Samara in the next installment. And lots of different pockets that I included, and some booklets and folders, and inside each one is something different. And I can't stop looking at the draped lace. It is quite striking. Each page is different and contains some information about wolves, or it has the story. This one I printed in reverse or negative, and I included also fabric pockets like this one. This is flip out, and there's lots of coffee dye paper, ledger, and eco dye paper. So each page is different, and lots of beads and lace of tabs and so on. So the story does continue throughout the journal, and the pack is trying to come to terms, as well as Martin, that they have a new member, and how they will, they're wondering how they will incorporate him into the pack, or whether he's even worthy, I suppose. And there he is. That's Martin. He's rather hesitant, maybe even scared a little bit, confused, of course, with his the new finding of himself, and wondering if he's the next alpha male of Enigma, perhaps. And so the pack is trying to protect their territory. I like this picture. Looks like Thor there is looking right at you. And here, even in the close-up. So I did stain the pages just to make him a little bit more aged. So as I said, it is coming into winter, and a new pack is coming along, and they are threatening Enigma's territory. So there will be some kind of bloodshed, or something going on. They're wondering whether they can hold on to their territory, which certainly wolves like to do. And there's a howling wolf, maybe some kind of sign or a warning going on. And on the pages as well, there's a little tag here with just a collage on it, and some burlap in the back there, and some, it looks like eyelash ribbon, and a couple of little wolves on there. And there's a close-up of the wolf charm, which is in the middle of each signature. And on this page as well, this little mask sort of a wolf that I used in a previous journal, and I still have some more, so I thought I would use it here as well. And some more of that painting of wolf scratchings and so on, and this round stencil that I have. So I stamped that on a couple of pages. And there's another close-up of the little wolf mask. And inside here as well, in the blue, that is the fabric pocket from the other side, and a little crochet wreath there as well. A little bit of a notebook on the side, and another notebook on here as well. And on that one is Thor, wondering if his days as an alpha is over. Of course, he's been alpha for quite a few years, and he's getting older and perhaps a little weaker, and he needs to hand over his alpha male status to someone else. He does have a son, Todd, but he feels Todd is maybe not making right decisions, and he seems to feel that maybe Martin might be more of a fit. So there's Anna, Martin's mother, and this is at the end of the journal. And these are just some of the inserts that I try to take pictures as I go along and as I make these things. And here's the cover in the making as well. And just maybe you'd like to see some, behind the scenes pictures as well. There's only a few, but I should really take maybe more in the future and show you more how this is all put together. So this is where I've done the cover earlier, and then I'm trying to fit it onto different fabrics. So this is the one that I decided on, and as usual, I try to put a little bit red on it, and so the cover has different textures on it, also red on the top and on the sides and so on. And there is Thor. He is looking out for his pack, and it was this beautiful fabric, a sari scarf that I found with these beautiful colors on it, so I used that on the back. And there's a pendant with Enigma on it that was attached to the tassel, and more details of the different pages. The title, Wolfology 3 Enigma, that is on the cover with Tim Holtz hardware. And so there it is. This is the third installment of Wolfology. One more coming up, all about beastwoods and so on. So hopefully I will start working on it soon. I do have many pages already. I just need to figure out what belongs where. And hopefully we will wrap up Wolfology Enigma and maybe move on to a different pack. Maybe the one that is coming over to their territory. Just let's see who they are and what is it they want. So I appreciate you coming by to see this. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.